Last summer. Fade in, interior warehouse night. Julia is inside the warehouse. Julia is inside the warehouse. She sees that there's no one around. Nervous, she enters an open office in the warehouse. Warehouse office. She goes cautiously to the office desk. There, she sees details and pictures of herself and her friends. On the other end of the desk, she sees a picture of the deceased local pedestrian holding a big fish and wearing a black fisherman raincoat. Standing next to him is a young man smiling, who she believes is Bob? Julia hears a sound. Before she turns, Bob hits her on the back of her head. She passes out. Bob lifts her up and puts her in a chair. He ties her hands on the back of the chair, then leaves her in the dark all alone. Exterior, Santa Monica, docks, night. James regains consciousness. He tries to stand. He feels dizzy. He sees a note on the floor. Picking it up, he reads, "I know she means a lot to you." He turns the paper and sees at the back a return address. In desperation and anger, James steals a motorcycle on the docks, hotwires it, and zooms off to rescue Julia. Interior warehouse night. James enters the warehouse looking around frantically. He sees Bob walking slowly towards him with contempt.
Well, if it isn't Romeo coming to rescue Juliet.
What have you done to her?
Oh, she's fast asleep, and soon enough, you both will join your friends wherever they are.
So, it was you all along. You're behind all that have happened. You're Bob.
So your brain finally worked it all up. You all deserve to die. After killing my dad, you go about your lives like nothing happened, and you expect me to live with that, right?
See, man, it was an accident. Since you knew we were behind the death of your father, why didn't you call the police on us?
I fear the police don't know their jobs well. So, I'm here now to finish it.
And with that, Bob strikes out at James with a knife he'd concealed. James is fast enough to see the knife. He dodges it and manages to knock the knife out of Bob. James and Bob are fighting now. Bob is on top of James and tries to strangle him. Bob punches James hard in the face more than once, but James picks a meat hook nearby and stabs Bob as if in self-defense. Bob falls off and James gets up, searching for Julia and calling out her name.
Julia! Julia!
James hears a gag noise coming from one of the empty studios in the big warehouse. In the dark, he rushes in. Warehouse studio. James sees Julia gagged and tied up. He unties her and removes her gag. Julia screams suddenly.
Watch out!
James turns swiftly and forcefully pushes Bob away. James and Julia flee the scene. Bob drags himself behind, unable to catch them because of the wound. Fade out.